There is many issues about recently. Assassin's Creed Shadows problem. It's many.
Yes.
Yeah. It's more than deep problem. More than I thought.
Oh, so you've been reading recently about kind of the kind of they're trying to say. Well, first tell me what you know. What did you read about the Assassin's Creed drama?
It's so many topics I'd like to say. And it's not only one or two problems, because the company is UBI, right?
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. Yeah. Ubisoft said this is based on the true history, but actually it's not. It's really wrong things or ambiguous fact. But Ubisoft didn't any announcement. No, not enough announcement.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because, of course, I played the Assassin's Creed games since I was maybe when they first came out. I think I was in middle school or high school.
Oh yeah.
And they're historic fiction, so they take real historic events and historic people. Mm-hmm. Then they have like a story about like do you know about like Freemasons?
Freemason
and it's like that, yeah.
Yeah, Freemason. It's like a, how can I say? It's like a conspiracy, Freemason conspiracy.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. So, but they were real, like a real group. But there's lots of conspiracy that they control lots of things in society, government.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But so Assassin's Creed was always a story. So they took a real history and real historic people, and then they kind of had like in the middle of a real historic event, there's a secret like war between assassins and kind of a Templar like Freemason group. So of course it's historical fiction, right? So it's based off of a fake. It's based in a real place, but of course some things obviously didn't happen, right?
Yes.
But the thing is that they kind of make some assumptions about Japan. So first they assert that Yasuke was a samurai. So he had samurai status, but there's no proof that it's true. And they kind of assert that they know better than Japan, that they say yes, it is true.
Yes, it is. Do you talk about Thomas Lockley?
Who?
I thought you talk about Thomas Lockley.
Thomas. Who?
Wait a sec. Here it is. It is.
Let me see.
I think it is root cause.
Well, let me see. Oh, interesting. So he penned works such as Yasuke. Oh, so did he also say that Yasuke was a samurai?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Can I say root cause?
You can if you think he is the source. Yeah. It kind of means he kind of started it. The idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is many perspective, but from most Japanese standpoint, he is the root cause.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I never knew about him either. So that's interesting.
Because first of all, Yasuke's information or source is quite a few. It's just 2 or 3, not many. It's just a few words or few phrases, not many information about Yasuke. But Thomas creates the Yasuke history by his own theory. There is no evidence, but he made it, and he said, this is a true history. And nowadays, even Japanese, some studies said it's true because Thomas is very professional or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, like, because there's lots of like fiction where, based off like a samurai, based off Yasuke. But I think like the problem is that yes, there's no perfect proof that he was a samurai. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of like these liberals try to assert that yes, he was, just because he's a black man in Japan.
Yes, it is.
It's because it's a good story for like their narrative, right? Because they love black people so much.
Yeah, yes, it is, and also black people also. I guess it's just I think maybe black people also enjoying this situation because black people also love samurai culture and they really exciting. Their ancestor got involved with samurai culture.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool idea, and the story of Yasuke is still very interesting. I think it's okay to have fun with the fiction, to play with the idea of Yasuke, because like for example, I like there's lots of fictional stories like Shogun and like Neo, which is about his name was William. He was like a European. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know Williams, but recently I chased Assassin's Creed's problem and I've learned about him.
Yeah, so they have him depicted in lots of things, and I don't know for sure if he actually was given the title of samurai or not, but I think the problem is a bit deeper, because, okay, so from what I understand, a big problem with Japanese people are offended is because the people like the creators of Assassin's Creed are kind of pushing the idea that it is a fact that Yasuke was a samurai, and it kind of comes off like they think they know better than the actual Japanese people about the history. So Ubisoft is kind of pushing the idea, the narrative that Yasuke was definitely a samurai.
Oh yeah,
and even though there's like a lot of Japanese scholars don't agree, and they kind of come off like they know better than Japanese people about their own history. So I know lots of Japanese people are upset because of that.
Yeah, right.
From what I read, it seems like a lot of historians admit he was just Oda Nobunaga's retainer, and he did have high honor. He still had high status, but he still was not samurai.
Yeah.
But you know, personally, for me, I think the story of Yasuke is still interesting, and it's still cool. And personally, it's maybe different for me because I'm not Japanese. The idea of Yasuke doesn't bother me so much. I think it's more so that he's being used in this case as obvious kind of a DEI, as a DEI tool.
DEI. Yes. I heard, yes.
Because in all of the Assassin's Creed games, they take place in you play as somebody who is from that culture, from that country, and from that place of history. So in the first game, you're in Jerusalem, so you play as a Middle Eastern assassin. The second game is in Italy, you play as an Italian assassin. Right? The third game is in America during the colonial times. You play as a Native American assassin, right?
Yeah.
But then suddenly Japan, you play as African American. Does it make sense? You know, do they think that there's so many interesting people in Japanese history in that time period, and they picked only one black person that's ever really existed historically? You know, it's definitely, it feels very like it's an agenda.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think. I think.
And also, I meant to say African, not African American. He plays African. But anyway, go ahead. Because I misspoke because I said African American, but obviously Yasuke is just African.
Yes, Yasuke was African. You're right.
But anyway, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, that makes sense, and yeah, because every people has their opinion, and sometimes there is a very huge ideology, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they want to take advantage for their assert.
Oh, very much so. I mean, they want to. Ubisoft is a very left-leaning company. They're Canadian, but it's just it doesn't. To me, it doesn't make sense. Like, yes, Yasuke was obviously he did exist. He has his place in history, but every culture you choose to play as in every game up until now, you play as somebody from that culture that the setting of the story is, right? So but finally in Japan, you could have picked anybody, but you chose to pick the only black guy.
Yes it is. Well, it's okay if Ubisoft said it's just fiction. It's not based on the true history. It's fantasy. If they said so, it's fine, but they didn't, so...
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's both a problem. Yeah. It bothers me that it's obvious. It's obviously forced. Because Japan has a long history and there's almost no black people, and you choose the one black person.
Yeah, it is.
It's silly to me. Because again, every other game you play as a person from that culture, from the setting, and for a long time people were looking forward to. They've been asking for Japan. We want a game set in Japan, and then finally we get it, and it's and then it's Yasuke. Lots of fans are very mad because we've been waiting a very long time.
Oh.
Ever since the original Assassin's Creed, there was a kind of a teaser. There was a teaser where on the wall you could see something written in Japanese, and so people thought, oh, the next game is going to be Japan. This was back in like 2006.
Oh, 2006.
So people have been waiting like almost 20 years.
Oh, that much
for Japan.
Oh.
Yeah, almost. Yeah,
wow.
For Assassin's Creed in Japan, and then you finally get it, and it's just kind of like DEI, like you don't get to play as a historic Japanese figure.
Yeah, I didn't know that this is such a huge issue because I'm not interested in Assassin's Creed series. I heard the recent issue, but recently I chased it, and I realized it's really huge problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be fair, the games are kind of so now, but I just think it's interesting. Clearly Yasuke was like a diversity choice, not like a good choice, but they did it just to be just for the sake of diversity points.
I think so, yeah.
以上となります。ご視聴ありがとうございます。